Hello, everyone. My name is Chris. Michael was not available to record this week, so I have brought on a couple friends. I'm going to say your name, and if you wouldn't mind saying hello, Brody.
What's up, guys?
And Cody.
Ciao.
Brody, you are of Super 8-Bit. We've done a little bit of things in the past, like on a Minecraft build battle.
Indeed.
Cody, I've mentioned you quite a few times in the podcast. Just because you're pretty much my main source of information.
For what?
For pretty much any pop culture that I need to know about. Like
He's like
pretty much
E-News.
That's pretty odd considering I barely get out of the house.
Well, that's why. Like, you don't get out of the house, so you are completely up to date on everything in the internet. But before we get started, I just want to do a quick shout out to Kyle W. I don't want to say his full name because I am putting this on the internet.
That's
but
true.
that is Kyle W. for being our most loyal listener, giving me feedback constantly, and just being an overall really great guy.
Yeah, what a swell guy.
He really is just a really nice dude. I love working with him. Anyway, Brody, you felt a bit sore.
I did.
For not being on the last podcast because you really enjoy nostalgic things. And so I figured I would bring you back on here and let you kind of talk about some nostalgia that you wanted to. And I believe that was game consoles?
Yes, it was indeed. As you know, at Super 8-Bit, one of our main things is retro video games.
Yeah.
And so what I want to talk about today...
8-bit.
Exactly. So what I want to talk about is... what was your first game console and your first video game that you ever played on that console? Kind of like, what started you in gaming?
When you say console, are you only talking about like things you plug into the TV, or can handheld also work?
Let's go ahead and go with both. Let's do one of each, because I also have, one of each. Because I feel like that's two different things. It's different enough.
Yeah, I feel like. I think the first console I ever owned, and I say owned, meaning my mother bought it for me.
Yeah, of course, as all of us did, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us had full-time jobs at, 8, 7 years old.
Well, I don't know about you, but...
I'm pretty sure Cody already had his own business.
His
own hitman business.
Dude.
His own knife shop.
Probably.
Do you know how much money I would have now if that were the case?
But I think the first one that I owned was a Sega Genesis.
Oh,
and
man.
I did touch on this a little bit in the previous podcast.
Yep.
I think the first game I ever played on that, actually I didn't mention this in the last one, so I'm glad I'm touching on in this one, is the original Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had it in daycare. I think it was on the Genesis. I'm not sure. I was very, very young because, of course, I was in daycare while my sister and brother were in school and my parents were at work. All the kids would, we'd line up. We'd get our honeycomb cereal sponsored.
Oh, man, honeycomb. Shout out to honeycomb.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored, but shout out to honeycomb.
No, we're not sponsored.
I still don't like honeycomb.
I love honeycomb. It's like a lot of people don't like soggy cereal. But I love it when my cereal gets like nice and mush, like my Fruity Pebbles.
But not your Vienna sausages.
No, God, not like those. They weren't Vienna. They were like just pickled sausages, and they were little sausage pudding. It was awful.
Oh,
but anyway, every time I say sausage pudding,
Sweet
someone
Jesus.
gags.
I didn't.
Except you, but you're desensitized like everything. But
I'm not sure whether to take that as a compliment or not.
It is, trust me. I was playing it at daycare because all the other kids, would be doing normal things like drawings or
what lamos.
Kind of like playing outside. And I was kind of glued to the screen. Yeah. But I would play Sonic, the original game, and I was god awful at it, as you would expect, like a little 4-year-old to be.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I was absolutely terrible at that game, because I didn't really understand that there was an end to it. I kind of pictured it as like a sandbox world that I was just allowed to run around and like kill stuff.
Yeah.
And when I finally did find Eggman, multiple times and finally did beat him, I was extremely confused to find that there was a Green Hill Zone 2, and I cried. Because I thought that I broke it.
It was just so overwhelming.
Yeah, no, I thought I was gonna get in trouble because it was completely different from what I was used to, and I was like, oh god, no, someone else is gonna want to play this, and it's gonna be all wrong, and
that's awesome. That's fun.
I can't help but imagine you playing Green Hill Zone 1 over and over again, just being like, no, this time though.
It wasn't over and over again. It was like one time for like 40 minutes. I would just run around, kind of hit springs, find little power ups, kind of jump on mobs. You know, just kind of not anything that you're supposed to do in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're 4. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Okay,
yeah.
So if I remember correctly, I think my first console was a PlayStation.
Yep.
And the first game I can remember on that PlayStation is the original Spyro by Insomniac Games.
That is exactly me.
Was the PlayStation 1 before the Sega Genesis, or was it after?
It was after. The Genesis a little bit before. That's what I was a little intrigued when you said that, because, like, we're the same age, roughly.
No.
Like, around.
Like 2 years.
I'm older than both of you.
What? No, we're 8 months apart.
Are you? Are you 20?
I'm almost 20.
I'm 21 in 1 month.
Okay, then we're like a year and a couple months then. But roughly the same age.
Yeah,
we come from the same...
around the same age.
The same era, really. And the Genesis was old for us, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right.
Yeah. Well, I've held a controller since I could, you know. I've played video games since I could hold a controller in my tiny little hands.
Gosh,
but Cody,
that Sega Genesis controller, though,
it was massive. It had like 3 massive buttons on the right, and then they came out with the new one, it had like 6.
It was basically a fight pad.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah,
honestly, the controller that mystified me when I was like 8 or 9 now.
I already know what you're gonna say. N64.
N64.
I still can't find my way around that controller.
I can't either.
Baffling.
I don't
it's
know
ridiculous.
how I'm supposed to hold it.
I feel like we had that thing for a very short time because I can only remember playing Mario 64 on it for like a week and nothing else.
It got quickly replaced by the GameCube controller.
Yeah, that one made more sense. And okay, I'm sorry, Nintendo.
It was actually made for human hands.
The plastic
freaks at Nintendo,
dude. The plastic and like the sensors they used in those N64 controllers were horrible, just awful. Like they're just so poorly made.
I'm just amazed that my original PlayStation actually managed to break. Like due to
broke it.
No, an enraged family member managed to break my PlayStation. And that's something, though, because it's Nintendo product, and those things are made of indestructimonium.
Yeah, they are really strong, aren't they?
They secretly contract Nokia to build them.
The reason that Wiimotes have that strap is not to protect the controller or
to protect your television.
It is to protect your television, because that thing will rocket through it like a freaking missile, like a bunker buster missile.
But yeah, then I had GameCube for years, and only after that did I eventually make the jump to PS3, and then I managed to buy a PS4 myself.
You went from
when they came
GameCube
out.
to PS3?
That is a jump,
isn't it?
That is a massive jump.
That is a ridiculous jump.
The last console that I've owned before my housemate got here was an Xbox 360.
Yep.
Like, that is the last thing I ever owned through console, because I discovered the glorious PC master race, and consoles became quickly out of date. So Brody, was yours the same as Cody's, the PlayStation?
Yeah. I had
Spyro?
my dad. When I was really little, my mom got my dad the original PlayStation for Christmas, and I played it nonstop with him. We both played it nonstop. His game was always the original Siphon Filter, and I got the original Spyro the Dragon, and I played that game like no other. Like, it was so that
was a Year of the Dragon, right?
No,
or was
Year
it
of the Dragon was
Spyro?
3. It was just called Spyro the Dragon. Year of the Dragon. I think Year of the Dragon was 3.
This was the 90s, man.
Yeah, 96 when the first one came out.
I'm not sure if you guys watched listened to the last podcast, but my bud Nathan, that was kind of his answer as well. His favorite game from his childhood was the first Spyro, and it was he had to correct me a couple times. It was the one where you were unfreezing stone dragons, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
That one was truly amazing.
It was so rich. Like everything in that game was the environments, the story especially, which is really strange for a game like that.
I want to play it again now.
The story to be that good, it's phenomenal. I want to go back and play it right now.
I need to track down Spyro on a PlayStation.
See, funny thing is, and I did also touch on this in the previous one, is my sister used to watch me play these games.
Yep.
Like Spyro on the original. She used to watch me, because I would, God, my brain is melting at this. I would invite her to play. I would say, hey, you should play because, I want you to have fun. And she said, I have much more fun watching you play because I'm not very good at games.
My sister's the same way.
And I think that's kind of where I got my love of, making game videos. Because I've always kind of felt entertaining when someone's watching me play a game. But it's also extremely nerve-wracking because I'm like, I gotta be funny. I gotta be entertaining.
My natural low skill level automatically just paves the way for comedy.
I'm only good at certain games.
See, that's my problem. I'm pretty good at games, but not like overly so. I'm pretty mediocre, so it's hard for me to actually produce some kind of natural comedy. Just because nothing super bad is happening to me, and I'm not completely decimating someone. I'm just kind of in the mid.
Yeah.
Like, if I were playing Call of Duty, I would be right in the middle of the scoreboard. I'd be like 7 kills, 9 deaths.
Yeah.
Like the top guy's like 36 kills, 12 deaths, and the bottom guy's like 0 kills, 24 deaths.
That's me. That is where you will find Super A Brody on the scoreboard. Is right there.
Is that your gamer tag? Can people now add you on
No,
Xbox
that
Live?
I specifically did not give out my actual gamer tag.
I think my favorite game from my childhood would probably be, just out of nostalgia and fondness, Super Smash Bros. Melee, because it was my first GameCube game when I was like 10, and therefore the one I remember the most.
Okay.
I have a story about Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah. Go for
it. It all started when a new kid moved into my neighborhood.
Oh boy.
He moved into a house that my old friend had moved out of.
Oh.
So my little 10-year-old brain felt more entitled to that house than they were. So I walk up to the guy, that would be my friend's dad. His name's George. Hello, George, if you ever hear this, ever.
You sound real
bitter. No. But his name was George.
Would you go to sleep tonight, George? Don't sleep tonight.
I walk up to him, and I say, hi. And he's like, hello. And I'm like, do you have a son? And he's like, yeah, he's inside. I'm like, okay. And so I just walk in his house.
Awesome.
I walk up to his son's room, which was the previous friend's room as well. And I'm just like, hi. And he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Chris.
There's nothing like a B&E to make a good friendship.
Yeah. I did just kind of walk in.
You they were still broke into his house, dude. That's what happened.
They were still unpacking things. Yeah, I had to pick a few locks. I had to, kind of break a window or two.
You start helping him unpack.
Imagine just kicking in the door. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? No, I didn't help them unpack. I wasn't that nice. But anyway, I grew to be really good friends with this kid. We talked about Naruto, and we talked about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and all this.
I still know some of the specific Naruto hand signs.
Oh, same. I can do fireball jutsu really quickly.
I remember the names of specific positions. I remember dog, tiger.
I know some of
them. Horse.
But basically, he had a GameCube, and he had Melee on it. And we used to play it a lot, and we would make these little skit shows in them, between ourselves. And eventually we were just like, man, when YouTube came out in 2007, we were like,
That was 2003.
man, we should make this into a YouTube series. It's so funny. And so we would record with an old handheld camcorder, like angled at the TV, and so you can like barely see the characters due to the gamma, and kind of
gotta
voice
get that gamma.
Characters.
the what is it? The interlace.
God, I thought I got all my nostalgic cringe out in the last podcast.
No, welcome to.
But how's the anti-aliasing though?
Anti-aliasing, that's it.
It's A-okay, man. It was mwah, grade A.
Any screen tearing?
No, not at all. It was super professional, especially since, we had about 200 episodes recorded and not one of them uploaded because my friend wouldn't, or he didn't know how. I don't know. He said he was getting to it, but I don't know if he actually knew how, and I don't know if he was too embarrassed to tell me that he didn't know how. I did that kind of thing with my little sister in Brawl, but we didn't record or anything. We just kind of RP'd a bit.
Yeah.
I remember playing Brawl and Melee and Wii U version Wii 4 basically with my sister a lot.
Yeah.
That was our bonding game when Dad wasn't kicking our asses. No.
My stepdad used to camp in a corner of the original Halo. Like, it would be me, him, and my brother. And he would snipe us from the corner of the map, and we would try screen cheating, but every time we looked at his screen, he'd be staring at the ground, and then he'd move. When we finally found out where he is, he'd move to the exact opposite corner, and when we got there, he'd snipe us.
Position compromised.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, if there was
Really
one
nice guy.
if there was one game I could never beat my dad at, it was freaking Soul Calibur 2.
See, I didn't play a fighting game until I was, like, older. I can't say that. I played the old Mortal Kombat games.
My dad liked fighting games, so we had like Tekken and Soul Calibur, and he wouldn't let us play Mortal Kombat.
I wonder why.
It wouldn't have affected me. I was
really, look how he turned out already. Not like Mortal Kombat would have done any more damage.
Yeah, but imagine what he would have been, Brody.
He's already maxed out.
I was already gone by that point.
He's already top tier. Crazy person.
He's reached his final form already.
He's already dead.
Yeah, I played the old Mortal Kombat games that had the like actual people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the palette swapped characters.
Yes, those were the best. I remember I always wanted to be Reptile because my favorite color has been green for like 12 years.
Yeah, Reptile. That was Mortal Kombat 3.
Well,
he's
okay,
he was a secret character in 2.
The green character, the green ninja.
Yeah, he was
not the literal reptile man.
Yeah, he was the green ninja was. I think he was like a secret boss in 2 that you can get to, but he was very first a playable character in 3. But then people modded 2 in the source code to be able to get the green ninja by selecting Sub-Zero.
I just call him Reptile because that's what reminds me of it, and that's what I think he became.
Yeah,
originally he was just a color swap Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ermac.
Oh yeah, the red one.
Yeah, what happened with Ermac is that there was a character called, I think his name was Meat.
Yep.
And he was literally just...
He was just a man without skin.
A man without skin.
Yeah.
And there was a version of him that you were able to contact, but he was like more red than any of the other ones. And people were trying to figure out what his name was. What happened was it was just the skin messed up on the Meat character. And people were searching through the source code, and they found a thing that said Ermac. And so everyone started calling it Ermac. But Ermac just means error macros, which is like the catch-all for all like the logic errors that might happen in the game. And it kind of it kind of just recycles the code, so it doesn't
amazing.
So it doesn't lag or skip or like mess up your game, bug it out.
And then they made Ermac a character.
The error macros is where Ermac got his name.
It's like Noob Saibot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Tobias Boone?
Yeah. Do you know Noob Saibot's who Noob Saibot is in story, like in Mortal Kombat story?
He's the original Sub-Zero.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
like
the
one that died.
Yeah,
Yep.
the original, and then his younger brother took his place.
Oh,
His,
I was
his
always
younger-
wondering.
His younger adopted brother, right? Because the original Sub-Zero, wasn't he Japanese, but the new Sub-Zero is
Chinese.
white?
Oh, I mean,
He's white.
well, I mean,
Caucasian,
his
I
name,
believe, is the correct term.
his name
He's
is not white.
Chris.
I will say his name is not white.
No, his name's not white because he was adopted over there.
Yeah.
But he's a white child.
This podcast brought to you in part by Cheese Curl Crackers. Let's get cracking.
Back to the original topic of Spyro, I believe it was.
Yes.
Somehow we got from Spyro to
I don't know. Let's bring it back to
Noob.
Spyro.
Let's bring it back.
I remember putting an extreme amount of hours into Spyro, but that's just because I didn't really have anything else to do.
I put if you totaled it up, I probably put a good 50% of my age, 4 through 19. No, it's been years since I played Spyro.
Yeah.
I really want to play it again.
I remember the very last Spyro game I played was on the DS.
Oh
and
no.
He was like multiple elements.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, was it the Spyro RPG game?
Nah.
Yeah.
Something Shadows. Hold on. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
So I have the exact same game.
I think I have the case in the other room.
Are you talking about the series where he's voiced by Elijah Wood?
I don't
No.
know.
Okay.
That is that's the new trilogy.
That's also
those
on
games
DS.
are okay. I really enjoy them. I had a lot of fun playing them. I always rented them from Blockbuster when they very first came out and got
Oh,
into the
God.
Blockbuster.
You want to talk about
Um,
nostalgia? Fucking
Yeah, Blockbuster, man. But yeah, that was yeah, those are really good. The ones where Spyro's like a teenager, he's got the girlfriend and everything.
Cinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cinder, but she's like
Not
the
that
bad guy
Cinder,
in the
Chris.
first game. All right, Chris, the game you're talking about is Spyro Shadow Legacy. I have it right here, the box,
Is it on the DS?
because it is on the DS.
Okay, yeah.
I
it's
have
probably
it too. It is
I
the
remember-
least Spyro game that was ever made.
Yeah, it really is.
It is
I
it is a
remember
Legend of Zelda clone with Spyro in it.
I traded it in middle school for Nintendogs.
That is I don't know. See,
It was
I
an
have,
excellent
I feel like
trade.
you got the
love
better end of that
game.
deal.
Yeah, no, that game.
even
Nintendogs
though
is the best.
Nintendogs was really good, I have just a fierce loyalty to Spyro. I played all the games, even the garbage ones. I even played the Game Boy Advance game, which, by the way, was not that bad. But the one where they crossed over with Crash Bandicoot, where Spyro was in Crash's world fighting his enemies, and Crash was in Spyro's world fighting Reptar or whatever his name was.
Speaking of,
Reptar,
Not Reptar. Oh my
the
god.
dinosaur from
I-
Rugrats.
I hate myself.
I want to see Spyro.
No.
No, Crash Bandicoot fight Reptar.
I don't know why, but that made me think of Trogdor.
Ripto is his name.
Yeah, Ripto
Yeah.
from Ripto's Rage.
Now you're just
Yeah, that was
now,
the second game.
now you're just making
Yeah.
me think of Trogdor when you said Reptar.
And that just makes me think of Trogzor from Warcraft.
Before I
Anyway.
forget, speaking of
Game Boy
Spyro and
Advance.
Crash Bandicoot, did you know that in 2017, Naughty Dog is re-releasing remastered versions, completely remade, of the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games?
Really?
I-
Oh yeah, I
heard
heard
about
about that.
And do you know who voices Aku Aku, the mask?
Who's that? Who's that?
The man who voices that mask now
Uh-huh.
is Grim from The Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
That is amazing.
I
I
miss
love
that
him as a
show.
voice actor.
He doesn't even try to hide that he's Grim. It's Grim talking through a wooden mask that floats around Crash Bandicoot.
I stopped caring like 5 episodes ago, man.
Look at all
I
this filth.
stopped caring. He, it never really registered to me that he was Jamaican. Like I knew he
Yeah.
was, but it didn't register.
It just
he was
hit me today because I was kind of going on a little bit of nostalgia trip preparing for this podcast because I was just
Yeah.
taking a stroll through memory lane. I just realized that the re-releases of Crash Bandicoot are coming out next year, and I was watching, I think it was Twin Sanity Is that the last Crash Bandicoot game?
I don't know. I wasn't too big into the Crash Bandicoot games.
Well, one of them, it was showing like the it was either pre-release footage from the new Crash games, or it was from the most recent Crash game of Aku Aku talking to Crash and Crunch and all of the characters, and I'm like, oh my god,
Grim?
That's Grim.
Grim?
He's
Is that
still
you?
Jamaican and everything.
I wonder if he was supposed to represent Samdi then.
Huh?
Samdi, voodoo god of no, I got it wrong.
You mean the Papa? Voodoo
No.
Papa?
No, freaking with Death, Grim Reaper being Jamaican, and it just made me think of the voodoo god of death, the Samdi.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking about an actual
zombie.
mythology.
Oh, I know. I didn't quite hear
Or-
you the first time. I now
or
see
well.
what you're talking about.
Vidoin, god of death, if you want to be technical, and I am because I'm a freaking English nerd.
So I think we can close the nostalgia.
We never
Okay,
talked about
because
handhelds.
I think we've touched
Wait,
enough on it.
I have one more thing to say.
All right, what's
Alright.
that?
Skylanders, right?
Oh,
Originally, okay, hold on. Originally, a Spyro game. First of all, with the most horrendous and awful Spyro redesign of any game ever.
God. Yeah,
He looks
yeah,
horrible.
I agree.
It's not too great.
He is lost in his own game. Skylanders is no longer about Spyro.
No.
Now
I don't think it ever
recognize
was.
I recognize at the beginning it was more of a, kind of like Civil War, Marvel, like those movies were like kind of a giant cast of characters.
Yeah.
But at its core, that was set in the Spyro universe, and it just spiraled out of control.
It spiraled out of control.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
You want this podcast to actually go up, right?
It just, I don't know, it just kind of upsets me because like I never personally got the Skylanders games. My cousin got them and I played with him, and I always played as Spyro, and it's just that it's like spiraled out of control to a certain point to where it's like
His face is
it's unrecognizable as
his
the
face is too
Spyro
much like
game.
a pug.
Yeah.
Like the
He-
redesign?
He has gone through a lot of incarnations.
yeah. I need
Are
Activision.
you putting a request out right now? You gonna put out a request to Activision?
I am. I'm gonna put a request to Activision if anyone ever sees this. I think Activision still owns the rights to Spyro. I know
Spyro.
Insomniac invented Spyro. Like
Bring
So-
back Alora.
Insomniac Games or Activision, whichever one of you happen to see this, please.
Because one of you definitely will.
One of you definitely
but whichever
will.
one does.
Exactly. All I'm asking is that you take a step in the same direction as Naughty Dog and just re-release the first 3 Spyro games with better graphics
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not Insomnia anymore.
and Elijah Wood. That's all I ask. That's all I want.
What's your favorite Spyro design?
My favorite Spyro design
The
is
original.
by far the original, from Spyro the Dragon through Year of the Dragon.
Yeah.
That is Spyro to me. Granted,
Mhm.
it is cool. I do like the Spyro from the new trilogy, the new trilogy, where he's a teenager. He's got like his horns are longer. He's got more spikes, and he's
Yeah,
less.
that one's pretty
He's
cool.
less characterized. He's more.
Elijah Wood
Proportioned?
Spyro?
Yes, Elijah Wood Spyro. He's more proportioned correctly, and so that he's cool and all. He still maintains like the Spyro like face though. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
But
the
the-
only reason I like that character because he
the Skylander one's face is too flat. It looks like a pug
it's too
or
flat.
a
It
Persian
looks
cat.
and he's kind of scary. He's like ugly and scary. He kind of
Yeah,
looks like
he's not
Sloth
really the
from.
friendly little dragon.
No, he kind of looks like Sloth from the Goonies, if I'm honest, a little bit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna go that far. He looks like a dinosaur, kind of. He looks too much like a dinosaur and not enough like Spyro.
I guess that's kind of the hard distinction to make is, the dinosaur v dragon. Because
Yeah.
dragons are much more like proud and majestic, while dinosaurs are much more lumbering and vicious.
Yeah, and like Spyro he has a personality, and like his look had a personality that definitely like his look. You expect his personality from the way he looked in the original Spyro games.
Like he was like
And-
a punk kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays he kind of acts like Sonic, just like this kind of cocky little butt.
Well, he was
in
the original.
Skylanders.
No, well, yeah, like
Yeah.
nowadays, like the current depiction of him.
Yeah, I mean he
Well,
wasn't
he was
really in the Elijah Wood Spyros. He wasn't.
He was
like
a lot
that.
more humble.
He was more attuned to the classic Spyro. I definitely agree with you though when you're talking about
Yeah.
Skylander Spyro, because Skylander Spyro is, I think they took away a lot of his personality and kind of forced him into the role as like the mascot.
Yeah. It's just to
And-
sell, really.
Exactly. You know, the same things happened with Mario. Granted, Mario didn't have character death to begin with. Let's be honest.
I like
But,
how we're
like-
like, 19-plus-year-olds complaining about Skyrim Skylanders character development.
Well, you know, it's a problem because
At
I
least you're only
recognize
19,
my
I'm
cousin.
22.
When my cousin got the game, he was like 8 years old, and that was their target demographic, and they succeeded in that. And what they had to do though is they had to dumb down, like, because while Spyro was for his own personal games, his first series and second series, he could have that more developed personality because it's his game, but because he's alongside all these other characters, he can't overshadow them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that kind of defeats the purpose of selling
Even though
a crap
he
ton of these
so
dolls.
Should.
Exactly. So they kind of had to force him into that kind of Sonic role. It's kind of like he's just like the mascot. They kind of reduce him down to his base, like
Yeah.
cocky teenager kind of a role. But
It was,
Yeah.
I mean, in the originals, he was like a total '90s skater kid brat.
Yeah.
Even in Spyro Year of the Dragon, they had the whole section, which, by the way, was about 80% of my time spent in a Spyro game, was
On
spent
the
playing
skate-
Year of the
the skate
Dragon
part?
with the skateboard. Yeah,
The skate part.
yeah, in the skate park.
Hunter.
There's a little bit of a difference between 90s skater kid brat and like early 2000 snarky, cocky teenager.
All I want Activision and Insomniac Games is to just, you know, take a page from Crash, re-release your first 3 games with modern graphics.
Give us Alora, Hunter, and Bianca.
No, work on Spyro first.
This is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I'm a big fan of the MixedBag Podcast.
So we're gonna move on to the next thing. That
Okay.
was Cody wanted to talk about hobbies that we've had throughout our time,
boy.
and I really kind of like that because I haven't really had a hobby
Really?
other than gaming until
mean,
YouTube.
I guess we can kind of skip over gaming.
We
as our
kind of
hobby.
have to skip over gaming.
Or else I'll get back on my soapbox and rant about Spyro for the next hour.
Yeah, but until YouTube, I didn't really have anything that I regularly did. I mean, unless you count like, you know, fishing trips with the family or like
Oh, I love
ATV
fishing.
rides with the family, but that was all with the family. It was nothing I went out and did myself.
Yeah.
I think from like the age I first started learning to read, I
Yeah,
did
that's
that.
good.
Like,
I guess writing might be mine as well.
like I learned to read, and immediately after that, I got a bookshelf.
Wow.
Jeez. I had a bookshelf, but all I had on it were stuffed animals that crawled down from their shelves when I was trying to sleep.
I remember this time, like back when I was 3 and absolutely dinosaur obsessed.
Mhm.
My parents got me this big picture book with dinosaurs in it, like just all the different kinds, right? And
Uh-huh.
I would flip through this book, and I was too young to read at the time. I was 3. You don't learn that shit till you're like 7.
Yeah.
But they would show me the word and they'd tell me how to pronounce it, and I would imitate it, and like I did that enough that
Did
he
you
was
learn
like-
to read with dinosaur names?
Yeah,
Because I did.
yeah. Like-
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all both did?
Yeah. I learned to read dinosaur names were some of the first things I was able to read. The very first book I actually ever read, I was 8 years old, and I read Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, the actual book.
I think I read that when I was like 10.
It's so good, and like I read it like I read it probably about twice a year if I'm honest, And every time I read it, I get something new out of it.
Dr. Hammond is so much more of an asshole in the book.
Yeah, he really is. He's not a fun character in the book.
One thing I kind of bragged about around the lunch table throughout the years was when I was in
Where it
first
really
grade, they
mattered.
told my parents that I could read at a 5th grade level.
Classic.
I was
And I
told
was-
that
That was fun.
I was told that I could read at a college level in 5th grade.
I was told I could read at a genius level in kindergarten.
I was a dumb
about that
kid,
one?
guys. No, I'm totally kidding.
Brody chimes in like, I was dumb.
I'm setting a
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we were all in that same boat. Were you guys in the GT program ever?
way to bring down the curve, Brody.
The someone's got to
What's
do
the
it, man.
GT program.
The Gifted and Talented program?
Oh, no, but I was when I was going into elementary school. I had a couple schools fighting over me,
Yeah.
but
Like, that's
I
what I'm
was
saying,
never
I think,
in like
I
the
think we're
program.
all we were all probably in that same boat as far as like
we were all just extremely intelligent people.
Well, I'm not saying
and
that. Grant, like,
we should be looked up to.
y'all know me. Like I ain't no genius or nothing.
Of
And
course,
I'm certainly not the most intelligent guy in any given room. I'm definitely not the most intelligent, but like we were all. I would go out on a limb and say we were all that, like, you know, in that same group of the, like, smart kids that were like super able to read beyond their reading level, and you know,
But
Yeah.
I remember
like,
this
did you guys
one
ever
time-
get moved up into the reading classes of the next grade level?
nope.
Really?
I made sure of it.
Oh, you
I didn't
rigged
want
it.
to. I didn't want to get moved up. I didn't
I
want
did.
any more work. I didn't want to like leave my friends. I stayed at a subpar level. So
Jesus, Chris.
Well, okay, so like 5th grade, I stopped paying attention to my studies because I cared more about my social status. And like 4th
Fifth
grade, I was
started
an
young.
A honor roll student. 4th grade, 5th grade dropped down to like C's and D's, and
Jesus.
continued on that until I graduated.
I was like straight A's till 3rd grade, then 4th and 5th grade hit, and I stopped doing work when not at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
homework was the worst, and I still don't like it. I don't like that homework exists.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't-
really the worst.
It's really
I
not.
don't think that you should have to bring schoolwork
it could be
home with you.
It could be structured better if they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But I was going to say when I was like 3, I was in the toy store, and there's a Pachycephalosaurus doll.
Dude.
Right.
The what?
Okay, a Pachycephalosaurus.
The bonehead.
The biped with the hard, thick skull shell.
Hmm.
The headbutts everything.
So like the thing that's in like every museum
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, have you seen Jurassic Park 2?
a long time ago.
Do you remember the scene where that dinosaur like smashes the car door and sends the dude flying to the other side of the car?
Yes.
That
That was
dinosaur.
that was a Packy.
That's it.
Oh,
Like they
that
have
was an alpaca.
they
yeah,
have
it was
the-
an alpaca. You're right.
they have like the thick skull plate basically.
Yeah.
But there was a doll on the shelf, and apparently I look at Dad and I'm like, Dad, can I have the Pachycephalosaurus doll, please? I want the Pachycephalosaurus doll. It's a Pachycephalosaurus. And-
Dad, you don't
If I
understand.
impress him with my vernacular enough, he will buy me this toy.
Like I started saying it rapid fire, and I was like 3 years old, and Dad says that another guy in the aisle looked at me like, what the fuck is with this kid?
It's a Pachycephalosaurus. It's a Pachycephalosaurus.
like
Say that
appar-
5 times fast.
like this guy just shot me this look, and he looked at my dad. Was like, is he actually saying that? Like, is that the word?
Is that actually how it's pronounced? So what was your was writing your only hobby, Cody?
See, I had writing, and I did have playing video games. Let's see. I'm trying to
I didn't have writing until like sophomore year of high school.
I started really writing around middle school.
Okay.
Brody, what about you?
Me,
I was very
well,
insular child.
I mean, just as far as hobbies go.
as far as hobbies go, when I was really little, like I said, I've always been obsessed with dinosaurs, still am.
As indicated by your Tyrannosaurus Rex Skype avatar.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, my Skype avatar is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. You're very correct. But when I was little, I would we had just built a new house, and we were in back a long time ago. It was a riverbed and it dried up, and they put the subdivision in there. It was really neat. And so when we were building our house, they had to dig up all the grass and everything. We had all this really silty, sandy, red clay and silt just all over the yard. And we had this one, there's a trench along the side for drainage. And like the drainage went through that so long, it was like, it created like a canyon almost. And it was like, 3 feet deep.
Oh, goodness.
And so I would,
that's a canyon.
It is. So my mom, she has always done like, little painting projects here and there, and she had this big like chip brush, and so I took that chip brush and I went out, because I had seen this in Jurassic Park in the very opening scene, after the guy gets eaten by the raptor. Spoiler alert. When they're brushing the dirt with the paint brushes, and they're finding fossils, and I'm like, I could totally do that.
I could so find fossils in my yard.
And I actually did.
What?
I still have it somewhere. I found a very, very small, it was like, what are those, the 8-year-old me would kill me for not knowing this. There's still a lot, Nautilus. I found a very, very, very tiny Spyro Nautilus shell. It was only about 2 millimeters, like, long. It was super small. But yeah, I found my first fossil when I was like 6 years old at that
I'm
house.
surprised you're not an archaeologist.
I wanted to be a paleontologist.
I always planned on being a paleontologist until
you realize the work that goes into it.
Well, no, until like
it doesn't pay all that well.
I found a new interest, because see, when I was 7 years old, I discovered
girls
my parents' video camera,
Ah,
and so
and the rest is history.
The rest is history. I made my very first production when I was 7 years old. It was a cooking show, set in my sister's play kitchen. She was the star. I remember it plain as day, just like it was yesterday. I made a script, right? I wrote it out for her. I put it on the little island where she was standing, like Martha Stewart. And I was like, so you watch Food Network? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so we're just going to do that. Here's the script. And then I realized she can't read. And so I'm like, crap. Because, like, if I'm 7 years old, that makes her 4.
Oh.
And so she could read, but very barely. So I was like, crap, okay. So then I take my red crayon, and I'm like, so what I do is I draw my very first storyboards. And I draw, like, the items of food and what she's supposed to do. And I just kind of like went over with her, like all she has to do is explain what she's doing and just do with the drawings on the paper told her to do. And I still have that video today.
Oh my god!
Yeah, my very first.
So upload it.
Oh, I absolutely will. We had it scanned. It was on a little Sony Betamax tapes, and not little, big Sony Betamax tapes, and we had it digitally scanned at a place over in Farragut. Not too long ago, and we have it on DVD, the actual digital files now. So yeah, I'll go dig it up.
Oh my goodness, I would love to see that. That sounds adorable.
So, yeah, that's when my love affair with film began, and ever since then, like I've just been, all over the place doing stuff with film. I learned how to do special effects starting when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And that's been my hobby ever since. Of course, gaming and everything.
I wish like language and English majors were worth more than they are, because like that's something I do enjoy.
I mean, they're good for teaching. Like,
yeah, but I'm not going into teaching.
Or like, do you understand how much English teachers get paid in foreign countries?
They get paid quite a bit.
It's ridiculous. Because okay, if you go to China or Japan to become an English teacher, they pay for your. I may be wrong about this, but I heard that they will pay for your apartment, and you have an allowance for groceries built on top of your ridiculously high salary.
Yeah, but then I'd have to learn Japanese or Mandarin or Cantonese, depending.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. You got to know both languages.
That'd be cool though.
Like,
Yeah.
I know more Italian than I do any of those.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you need 2 languages in college to graduate anyway.
all right. The College of Engineering, I know because I'm a recent dropout of the College of Engineering.
Nice.
They do not require a foreign language at all. Since I have, decided to stop fighting fate and decide to do my true calling, go to film school, we actually are required to take 2 foreign language classes and pass a fluency test.
We'll learn some Korean and then go to Korea and be an English teacher.
I'm already partially fluent in Spanish, so that won't be too
Oh
hard.
yeah, because you took high school Spanish and therefore you know how to ask what time it is, where the bathroom is, and how much the chicken is.
No, I actually took some lessons and like more in-depth stuff from my Spanish teacher. We're actually like really, really close friends, surprisingly.
Which
enough.
one?
Me and my Spanish teacher. So
Yeah.
he taught me a lot, and I'm partially fluent. You've heard me use it at work, haven't
Yeah.
you?
It's always entertaining when you
It's
say something odd in Spanish.
Yeah.
I'll say something to a customer, and then you'll say something in Spanish. I'll be like, "What does that mean?" And you'll just say the most profane thing in the world.
Well, gotta make it fun.
it's always amusing when you say something in Spanish and I'll respond in Italian or like
Yeah,
vice
Cody and I
versa.
have conversations, and like
Loose conversations.
Yeah, but he'll be
Because
speaking
they're
in
similar languages.
Yeah, he'll be speaking in Italian. I'll be speaking in Spanish, and they overlap like 80%. And what doesn't overlap is like very close. I can piece
I would
together
say
what he's trying to
60.
say.
I would say 60 to 75%.
Okay, yeah, like exactly matches up. But like then you have things like como se dice and como se dice, like those kinds of things that are just barely
Just pronunciation.
off. Yeah, it's just better
See,
pronunciation.
Every time I get on Skype with Cody, and I've been doing this for a few weeks now,
Yep.
I'll tell him something, and he'll say something in Spanish, Italian, and I will always reply with the name of an Italian food.
Like lasagna, spaghetti, cannoli.
Okay, so
yeah.
there was a
Yes.
couple days ago where he wanted
Ganache.
he wanted to play the Old Republic with me. He and Cass wanted to play the Old Republic, and I said I responded with Marglivioso, which is just marvelous or awesome in Italian, and he immediately replies tortellini.
Ravioli. It reminds me of have you guys seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah,
No,
It reminds
I
me
haven't.
of Brad Pitt's character, where he's like he's like speaking Italian, but he's saying it in like his Morristown, Tennessee accent, and it's not fooling anybody.
So it's like you.
Yeah, basically. If I were to try and speak a foreign language, it would just my southernness would come through regardless.
If I were to try and speak some other language, see, I can't do Miles Taylor at all. I wish I could.
Oh man,
como estai?
Como estás?
Como estás, mi amigo?
Oh
man.
no, I can't tell if we're being offensive or not.
No,
We're
we're not.
from-
I was doing the Brad Pitt thing. I don't know what y'all are doing.
Well, we're
Y'all
from
fucking racist.
we're from the South, so
Yeah, so we're allowed to be racist.
That's not true.
well,
That's
no.
not true at all.
First, we're from the South, so we can do the country accents, and 2, I'm Italian, so I know Italian.
Cody, do you think
Well-
I'm doing an accent? You should know by now. This is me.
Well, I'm doing an accent because for some
No, no,
reason
what he's saying is it comes naturally to us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know what it is for some reason, but I've lived in Tennessee my entire life and have not picked up a country accent unless I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I come from West Virginia, which is
Yeah.
quite the southern drawl state.
Yeah.
But when I got with Cassidy, I learned that she really, really, really did not like southern accents, and so I've spent the last 4 years enunciating my I's and being very articulate.
You've eliminated it. Like no joke. It's untraceable.
Well, that's the problem though. I haven't. Even right now, I am making extra sure. That's kind of why I stutter when I speak a lot. It's because I'm making extra sure that I'm not saying I, and I'm not saying fingers, I'm not saying thang, because those things are what I naturally want to do. Like, if you hear me talking to my family, you will hear my true accent. You will see my true form.
This isn't even his final form.
But, I mean, I think the podcast listeners, or baggers as we like to call them, could agree that listening to this the whole time wouldn't be nearly as nice.
I sure hope they don't care about that, because that's me talking right.
Yeah, but you're only in this episode. It's not like we'll ever have you again.
That's true. I've overstayed my welcome already. We're 52 minutes in.
53 nearly.
Yeah.
See, in the podcast, that's going to be at like 38 minutes. They're going to be like, what?
Oh, wait, how much in the beginning do you have to cut out?
Not a lot, but I cut out the boring things. So
I think so far we've been nailing it. Like, this has been
it's been pretty nice,
a richly dense podcast so far.
Yeah, no, it's been a pretty good one. But I think there are some things I'm gonna cut out. But
yeah,
I'm not gonna get into the
this conversation right here.
No,
they don't want to hear us.
In.
They don't want to hear us be. No, they don't want to hear us be meta about this podcast. Let's get back on track.
It's a
hobbies.
podcast. It has to be
hobbies. Christopher. Hobbies. Besides gaming, you had writing in sophomore year of high school. Anything else?
Well, nowadays YouTube, like, it takes up a good 30% of my time is YouTube.
Yeah.
40% of my time is CAS, and then another 30% is work. So I'd say I put in just as much work on YouTube as I do in my actual job with recording, editing, rendering, thumbnail design, and uploading.
I mean, it's like, work is a means to an end, but this is what you enjoy. So, I mean, that makes sense. I would say the same thing with me about, used to be about Super 8-Bit before we went on our hiatus for a little while because of school and all, but I was putting about, 30% of my time was going into work and 30% was going into producing content for Super 8-Bit. And, the other was put into me watching other content on YouTube.
Cody, you ever thought of making a channel?
I have a channel. I just never used it for anything.
Well, I mean, you ever thought of using it? Uploading some lols, making some memes.
His channel would be the most dry humor channel ever.
Starting out every video with, "Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Super Maximum Land 3, Part 62. We are just in the main story, and we are going to defeat the boss. I have waited so long for this, bros. You don't even understand how excited I am, and I am so glad to have you along with me."
I don't think I would sound like that, no.
No, I think Cody would be like, "Hey, it's time to play this game again. Let's just do it." And then that would be all you hear from Cody.
No, throughout the game, he'd be playing it, and you just hear, "Fuck."
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be...
Oh, shit.
I actually,
it would just be him playing it.
Expletives from that point on.
I do tend to talk to my games, though, so...
I do, too. I kind of... the people in my house can attest. Anytime I play a game, anytime NPCs say something, I'll go, "No! Like, I ain't doing that. Are you crazy? Why would I do that?" But I do it anyway because it's part of the story. I just like to be rebellious.
Yeah. I mean, and a part of, like, starting doing the whole YouTube thing, like, I've started to, like, in my head, like, even if I'm not even recording a video, I'll be, like, in my head talking to the invisible audience that I'm recording for, or would be recording the game for. You ever catch yourself doing that?
I always like to... I always kind of like to include some element of the audience. Like, I like to say, everyone watching this is probably this. Or, kind of touch on it. But I feel like it brings too far out of the immersion if you just... focus on the audience. Like, it's good to include them, but it's like, it's like doing anything with anyone. You don't want to just be staring at the person you're playing mini golf with the entire time. You want to be commenting on the mini golf. You want to be doing your own kind of thing, letting them enjoy.
That's what I mean. I'm talking about, like, I'm always in that like when I'm playing a video game, if I'm recording or not, if I'm just sitting on my own couch in my own home by myself, I will still kind of be in that let's player mode.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In my head, I'm doing the commentary in my head almost. I'll catch myself.
I'm doing it outside.
You're doing it out loud?
Yeah, I do it out loud.
I'll be like thinking to myself about the game. I'd be like, wait, this is something that I would like say in front of a camera if I was doing this for YouTube.
See, my problem is I find I'm much more entertaining when I'm not recording.
Really? You just record everything you play. Just record it all.
I really should, and I mean to. It's just oftentimes I don't want to go through the entire process of setting up the recording.
Yeah.
But usually, if I'm just playing myself, and if there's like maybe one other person, or if it is just me, I will be the most obnoxious, the most like hyperactive little thing you will ever see playing that game.
Whenever my sister's watching me play a game, I get a lot more animated, and a lot of times I'm just calmly talking back to the game and stuff, but I put a lot more emotion into it when my sister's watching.
Well, because I think it's kind of that thing where you kind of feel obligated to be entertaining. You're like, this person's watching me. I don't want them to be wasting their time watching me, so I'm gonna be this like funny little dude. I'm gonna crack a few jokes.
Yeah, as you know, I'm not exactly the most emotive person.
Yeah, no, you're pretty baseline, which is good.
It's good,
like,
yeah.
Every kind of social group needs that kind of element in it, or we'd all be in jail by this point.
Every grayscale has that 18% gray right in the middle.
Because Cody's the one
that keeps everyone in check.
Cody's the one that knows where to hide the bodies. Like without Cody,
exactly,
we would be in jail.
Like I create them, Cody has to hide them.
But without me, you wouldn't be in the position.
I pay for it.
Exactly.
What was that, Cody?
But without me, would we be in as many positions that would land us in jail in the first place?
Well, maybe not as many. We would be in some, though.
Life wouldn't be nearly as entertaining.
Yeah. And you know what life's kind of like?
Box chocolates?
Well, kind of. It's kind of like a mixed bag, Brody.
Oh my god, you're right, it is.
Life is like a mixed bag where you reach in and you just never know what you're going to find.
Exactly. Well...
Life's a lot like rolling a 20-sided die. Like, we can come up with these. It's not difficult.
Life is like on Halloween, going up to a candy man, sitting outside his front porch in a red hood, and he makes you roll a 20-sided die for how much candy you get.
You remembered my idea.
Which coincidentally was Chris's idea for Halloween next year of what he's going to do. He's going to make kids roll dice for candy. Like it's some kind of freaking Halloween kiddie casino at his doorstep.
Like, but you better believe the first kid that rolls a nat 20 is getting like half a pack of candy.
Yeah, really. Making them play craps for Kit Kats.
I'm going to give them modifiers depending on their costume.
That's funny.
Hulk gets less because he crushes half the bag when he picks it up.
You're not wrong.
See, I think... yeah. I think life is like a 20-sided dice where... where 19 of the sides are ones, but one of the sides is 20. That's kind of a pessimistic view on it, but I kind of feel like that's how it is. Like, most of the time, you kind of got to tolerate with what life throws at you. But that one in a blue moon, when it hits that 20... is just so nice.
I'd say some ones, some sixes, and a 20.
Yeah, I guess you gotta have some sixes in there. Or would it be like 10s, kind of like average, but, kind of like above, maybe, I guess a little bit above average.
Like 8s?
Well, you want to get at least like 10, like at least the norm.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a 12-sided die right now for some. I was staring at a 12-sided die. That was the issue.
There you go.
I was like, Cody, are you okay? Why are you saying 8s? I mean, I am the one who said like 19 one-sided.
That's true,
man.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go back to something Cody mentioned, or that we kind of been talking about the entire time, was sisters and gaming.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Let's make that a little bit of
Do we all have sisters?
I have one younger sister. She's 2 years younger.
And Brody, you have one younger?
Yeah, she turned 16 on Friday. A day after
See-
this will come out, she'll be 16.
Aw, well, happy birthday to her.
I will make sure she listens to this on her birthday, so she will hear that.
Don't punish her.
Wait, did you say it's tomorrow?
No, it'll be on Friday.
Okay, cool. Well, this will be up Thursday, so that works.
Exactly.
Don't punish her in this way.
My sister is older than me. She's 7 years older than me, I think. 6 or 7.
Okay.
And I have a little sister who is, I don't know, like 12 or something.
So she's 7 years younger?
Well, okay. I'm actually only saying 12 or something because that's kind of a joke I have with her. Like every time, because we don't talk too often, because she's in West Virginia, and I'm down here. We don't talk too often, but every time we do, and it gets on the topic of age, I'm like, "How old are you? Like 12?" And she's like, "I'm 14."
That's funny. We do the same thing to my sister.
So yeah, she's about 6 years. She's about 7 years under me. Yeah. And I've kind of experienced both sides of the spectrum. Like my older sister liked Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Hero. Those are the 2 games she would play.
I wreck both of those games.
I didn't. I was god awful at Guitar Hero.
Rhythm
because
games, I
hands.
destroyed.
I am so bad at rhythm games. And my younger sister, I kind of molded to be a like mini me. So she was into like Halo and like Minecraft and like all these kinds of things. She really likes to write as well. I've kind of just cloned myself in girl form. In her, so
that's pretty cool.
Hannah is very much different from me in most ways, but there used to be a time when we were little where I was like dragons, yeah, and she would be like ponies, yeah, but then eventually it became where we were both like dragons, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say eventually it became like ponies riding dragons, yeah.
Yeah, like it got to this point. It got to this point, like...
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome.
It got to this point, I'm not sure where, but eventually it became like, if she did get a pony for Christmas, she'd be much more like, why aren't you an Xbox 360?
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
My little sister is kind of tomboyish.
Yeah.
Like, she likes, like, fashion. Like, she likes to wear makeup and, have fashionable outfits, but she would much rather have a new gaming console over, like, new playset or whatever girls like these days.
She was like a lot girly. She was a lot girlier when she was younger, and now she still could be very feminine and girly, but she's also much more of a geek.
Yeah, that's what mine's like. Brady, is that what yours is like now?
My sister is very fashionable, and she's very
like, would you say she's a tomboy, or would you say she's more feminine?
No. She's
You don't have to be a tomboy to be a geek.
Yeah, she's definitely
like my sister's very fashionable and everything.
I don't know how to put it. She's very fashion forward.
Are you afraid now that she's gonna listen to this?
No. I mean,
I'll insult her to her face.
That's not
I
what
will
I'm
look
saying.
at her while she's listening to this and just slap her. If she's listening to this and you're listening to the same time, just reach over and slap her for me.
No, she'll hear this and she'll slap me right now.
Right. Now.
Yep, right then.
Right
but
then.
no, she's very fashion forward, very girly, very trendy. But at the same time, she's also she's pretty nerdy in her own right. For instance, like she very first started playing video games back in like the days of I think we both got our DSs together. I wanted a DS for Christmas, and then she was kind of in a stage where she was copying me for a lot of things. And so we both got DSs, and I got the Metroid Prime game, and she got like Nintendogs. Yeah, Metroid Prime was that was a shit. But she got like Nintendogs and Cooking Mama, and all these like
Cooking Mama.
All these, all the games that kind of try to, appeal to girls and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I played the shit out.
I played Cooking Mama like it was nobody's business. I also rented that from Blockbuster for the Wii. Yeah, but then we got the Wii, and she started playing a lot of other games. And I'll tell you what, if you cross her in Mortal Kombat, she will rip your eyes out.
She will annihilate you.
Force feed you your own eyeballs. It is ridiculous. She mains Katana, and more recently,
God.
yeah, she's ridiculous.
I want to see her fight my little brother.
She
mains Cassie Cage.
Really?
I mained Sub-Zero until Devora became a thing.
Yeah.
And now I play a lot of Devora because she's just really cool.
Yeah, but like, she mains the Katana, and she dabbled with Melina, but she doesn't really like her. And but more recently, she's been playing in MKX. She's been maining Jason Voorhees a lot.
I was just about to say, my little brother mains Cassie Cage or Jason when he feels like doing that.
Yeah, my sister is super raw with both of those. Like, it's ridiculous. My sister also.
How old's your sister again?
She'll be 16 on Friday.
What's her phone number?
Set up some game sashes.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna.
I'm relatively certain you have a
You're definitely not gonna set up.
No no way! Come on, Brody, come on.
No, never.
My little brother, he's like
she is
10.
she is single. Oh, now I'm really gonna get hit.
Yeah. Commence slap number 2.
Yep. Anyway,
slap right now.
Yeah, she loves games. Like, she loves Five Nights at Freddy's. She loves Slender. She loves the she will specifically, like, because I always watch Markiplier stuff when it very first comes out, and she'll specifically ask me, okay, which of the new uploads that he's had this week are the scary ones? Like, where can I see those?
She's a bit of a horror fanatic.
Yeah, and she takes that after me, I think, because
you like horror.
That's like my favorite video game genre. She played a good bit of Xbox too. Halo. She was still in that stage of kind of copying me and stuff when I got into Halo, and I was like, 6 years old or whatever. So she was like 4.
I remember specifically with Halo Combat Evolved.
Yep.
My dad got it on his work laptop.
Yep.
And he showed it to me, and I didn't know what Halo was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we put it on his laptop and the home computer, and we would play, and he would create a server because I didn't know.
LAN party?
Yeah, well, he would create an actual server.
No, on the Halo Combat Evolved computer, you like created game lobbies.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. It was basically LAN party.
No, there were
basically
for PC. It was LAN party for PC.
Well, it wasn't just me and him; it was like other people as well. Like, it was online, but
I get what you're saying now. I get it.
Yeah, but he would create a server and he would call it codes, like COD' S or CODE', like after Cody's, and people would pop into the server or in the lobby and play, and sometimes they'd be like, "Where are the codes?" Just like, "Where are the cheat codes?" And he would and he would always go, "No, not codes, but always make sure the second one had the apostrophe."
Yeah.
To differentiate, it's like, there's no cheat codes here. This is code server.
Is this what you've been doing the entire time, Brody? Have you been taking this picture?
What?
The thing you sent me on Skype.
What? You told me to send you a picture of the setup I'm using here.
Yeah, I know, but how many pictures did you take before you found one that's acceptable?
That was my first try, believe it or not.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, it was like, okay, so it was like, Cody had just said something, and I started laughing immediately when I hit the shutter button, and it just turned out that way.
You look so happy. I'm so excited to put that in the video.
I am happy. Thanks for having me here, Chris. This has been a blast. This is a good
time. This has been really fun. Well, I feel like that'll draw things to a close. So, thank you both for being on the podcast. I'm sure we'll have you back at some point, except for you, Brody, your band.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I mean, I think
here,
that's
Chris.
reasonable.
Glad to make my debut and finale on your MixedBag show. It's been a real roller coaster.
Maybe one day we'll co-commentate some videos together, Chris, and one day maybe I'll just sneak Brody in there somehow.
Maybe I'll just show up.
Don't betray my trust for you, Cody. Don't do it.
You have trust for me?
Sometimes. Sometimes.